To create drawings using Google Slides, you have a bunch of different creation tools up in the top menu bar. So up over here, you have the shape tools and the line tools. And you can see there's kind of a picture here of the menu for each of those. So for the pictures, I could do a bunch of different types of shapes, arrows, callouts, and equation type symbols. For the lines, if I click on the little arrow to the right of the line, it gives me the options. If I just click on the line here, it's just going to give me a regular line. So I'm going to click on the arrow and I can choose line, arrows, elbow connectors, which will connect multiple like images or drawings together, curved connectors, curves, polylines, and scribbles. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to one of my Sketch and Tell slides. And let's say that I wanted to draw a bird. Okay, now I'm going to choose a shape. I'm going to choose a circle for like the body of a bird. And notice that it's not quite exactly a circle. It kind of lets me make it into an oval or anything like that. And I can have a body color as well as an outline. To change the body color, I choose the paint fill color. It looks like a paint can. And I can make a green bird. And let's say instead of a black outline, I'm going to use the border color, which is the pencil. And I'm going to do like a really dark green. And I could even change the weight of that border to make it thicker. Right now it was at 1 pixel. I can choose 4 pixels and you can see it made a thicker line. I can choose to change the border itself. So right now it's a solid line, but I can make it dotted lines or any of the other options that you see there. Now, next I want a head. So I'm going to choose a circle, but I want it to be a perfect circle, not an oval like that last time. So what I'm going to do is before I start drawing the circle, I'm going to press the Shift key on my keyboard. And then when I start dragging the circle to resize, notice that it's only a circle. It does not turn into an oval because I have my finger on the Shift key on my keyboard. And it made it the same color with the same outline because I had the other one selected first. So I had this selected when I started drawing. If I go and I have neither selected and I choose a circle shape, when I go to draw my circle, it's going to be the default gray. So if I wanted to continue with the same colors and outlines, borders, I need to click on the previous shape first. And it could be either of these. They both have that feature. And then I'm going to choose my shape. And it could even be a different color shape. Or sorry, different type of shape, like a square or a rectangle. It will take on those features. So I'm going to delete that because I don't want that, but I have my bird's head and body, and now I need some wings. And so some of these shapes here might work for me. Maybe a triangle, and I want the wings to be the same color. So I should have first clicked on my previous one before choosing my triangle. And then I'm going to make a wing. I can move it around to where I want it, but now I want a matching one on the other side of the bird. So I'm going to copy Control C or Command C on a Mac, and then Control V on a PC or Chromebook, Command V on a Mac, but it's the wrong direction. I want to rotate it. So if I right click, I can choose to rotate, and I want to flip this, I think horizontally. There we go. And I have some other options that I can do. So if I want the body in the front above the triangles, I can right click and I can change the order, and I can bring it to the front, or I can bring it like one step forward. So you have the ability to kind of change the order of how things are layered. So it kind of looks like a cape right there. Maybe I do want to keep it how it was. So I'm going to go to undo, which is Control Z or Command Z on a Mac. And then I want feet. Now for my feet, I'm going to do a line. And I am probably just gonna do, for the legs, I'll do a general line like this. And I want to resize. Maybe I'm gonna make it kind of yellowish. And I'm going to copy, Control C, paste, Control V. And I can flip it if I want to again. So right click on the image. And I'm going to rotate, and I'm going to flip it horizontally. And then I could use the arrows to move it around. If you want to move something and you're using the arrow and it goes too far, if you press Shift, it does smaller movements, so it helps you get more precise movements, or how far it goes from side to side. So Shift helps get, so see how like I don't see a straight line here going to the body. If I press Shift a few times, I might be able to get it where it's just right where I want it. So it kind of just lines straight up. This one doesn't line up either, but if I move it, notice how it moves just kind of too far. So that Shift while clicking the arrows helps move it a little bit better. So I have my legs. I can use the Scribble tool. And with the Scribble tool, I can make kind of better shapes for the toes. And change again the color and all of that. And imagine I drew the whole feet in, I drew the eyes, the beak, etc. But again, you have a bunch of different options when right-clicking on images. You can change the shape of something. You can order, you can rotate. You can help center things on the page horizontally or vertically. And another cool thing that you could do is notice that when I move this around, it hits, or when it hits a specific spot, it gets that red line that goes across. What that's doing is it's actually lining it up, kind of centering it up with the other wing. If I wanted my bird in the center of the screen, or his head right exactly in the center, here's centered top to bottom, and here is actually center left to right. And so you have those arrows that help you line things up. I just pressed undo to move the head back to where it was. But you could also add text. So in any of the shapes, you can actually click on them and add in text, or you could use the text feature up top here. And you can create text boxes if you need to label your sketches. But then you also have the tell section over here on the right, where you can describe what it is that you drew and how it relates to the prompt that you were tasked with. You also have the speaker notes down at the bottom that you can use to kind of write out a script of what you might want to say when you're sharing this. You could also use the notes section as comments or questions that you might still have. So you are always free to write in the notes section, and your teacher may assign you specific things to write in the notes section. And if you are looking at slides from your peers, you still have the option to make comments. So you can add comments by clicking on the comment up at the top menu and type in comments or feedback. And you can highlight specific things that you want to comment. So before it was the text box, here it's the body. And so I could add comments or questions related to particular parts of the slide.